So did you guys hear about this story? Comedian Shane Gillis, he was fired from Saturday Night Live for what some people would construe some racist remarks. I think Shane Gillis is a very funny guy. So let me just explain to you what he said. First of all, he has made some, again, he's a comedian. He made some gay slurs, okay? You know, not the F word, but the other F word. He made some gay slurs. He also made a racist slur making fun of Chinese accents during a discussion about Chinatown. I think there is a fine line of distinction between what Kramer did, right, at the Laugh Factory using the N-word. There's nothing funny about that.
Right.
And what this guy did. Now, you might not like gay slurs being used in a joke. We've all probably heard them before. Some of us have probably said them. I think there's a fine line between doing that and, like, you know, crossing the line and using the N-word or doing something like that. I'm going to support this guy, Shane Gillis. I don't think he should have been fired from SNL. He said some of these words on his podcast.
But how many times over the years did people make fun of the different voices for being Asian or Polish or whatever it might be?
All the time. And I'm drawing a blank here. Who's the guy that just got into the car accident that was supposed to host the Oscars? And they told him,
Kevin Hart.
I don't like Kevin Hart. I've never found him funny. He has used gay slurs on social media. I didn't like the way the Grammys did that, though. I didn't like the way they handled that. We all go in our past. We've all probably said some hurtful things to people. But I think there is a line that you don't cross. Yes, Kramer, Michael Richards, right?
He snapped.
He absolutely 150% crossed the line, and he has paid the ultimate price for it. His career has been over since then. This guy Gillis is a talented comedian. I actually like dirty humor. I don't think you necessarily have to use gay slurs to do that. But
you ever watch Chappelle?
Yeah, I like Chappelle.
Chappelle just did a live on Netflix, and dude, I mean, he's going at it.
Can I be honest, though? Who's offended by crap like this? So Gillis said, I'm happy to apologize to anyone who actually was offended by anything I've said. If you happen to be a homosexual, okay, and you hear a comedian on a podcast use a gay slur, if it ruins your day and you are offended by that, then you need to get a life. Okay.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
Improv back in the day.
It's all about just grabbing attention to yourself. That's what it comes down to in the end.
But I'm at the Improv in the front row. I'm wearing a pink suit from Miami Vice back in the day with a white shirt. The comedian ate me alive. Hi, honey. Like, in other words, you know, and the Village, no less. I mean, it happens. And I didn't take it personal.
If you are of Asian descent.
I think that you have to be so insecure about yourself. If you can't have one person have one person, whether they agree with how you are or they like you or not, but you can't have one person talk about you without you trying to prevent them from having a career. This Shane Gillis guy, he just lost $250,000 a year. That's what Saturday Night Live pays.
He lost more than that, I think.
As long as
probably more.
Well as and what SNL actor doesn't get opportunities in movies and other TV programs?
That's what I was just going to say.
And the opportunity cost for that, just because of that, because
this cost him millions.
Someone is so insecure about themselves that they can't have one person say something about them. To me, that's just.
I don't want to see a comedian that's censored.
But that's America now.
Okay, it's not only $250,000 a year, as you mentioned, because if you're doing stand-up, you're going to make 4 or 5 times what you've normally made. If you're on SNL, you're right. You're going to be getting movie opportunities and all that thing. So I don't agree with what SNL's done. Look, I thought this guy really crossed the line,
and it shows their fear too.
Yeah, and he also, he made a racist slur, making fun of Chinese accents during a discussion about Chinatown. Some people might call that distasteful. This is his style. This is what he does. It's not like he used the N-word, and it's not like he did something hateful. I actually don't think he did something that was completely out of line. If you are Chinese and you heard this guy on a podcast make a joke, and again, if it ruined your day, then you are thin-skinned, and I don't know how you get through life every day.
Watch Chappelle, is what I could tell you.
Well, let me tell you this. So he used the F word. He used the three-letter F word.
Yes.
Are you telling me that the people that he offended don't laugh about a joke that he made about somebody else? They probably do, but when it affects them, when it's about them, they can't handle it. But they can laugh when it's about somebody else. To me, that's a double standard.
No, it is a double standard. And look, I don't think the N-word should ever be used in any situation. I've been very clear on that.
Obviously.
And I'm not just talking about comedians. And I know Chris Rock uses the word all the time, and he's an extremely gifted comedian. I think he's very funny. But I don't think the N-word should be used by anybody. And I know there's plenty of African Americans out there who would disagree with me and say, well, it's our word. We can use it if we want to. Well, if you don't want other people using the word, then you probably shouldn't use it yourself.
Especially what if you're a 6-year-old kid and you don't know that it's a bad word, and you hear Chris Rock say it a couple times, and you happen to be Caucasian, you think that it's okay. How would you know the difference?
Yeah,
and you're when you expose that word to other people and you don't explain to them the significance of it, like to someone that's very, very young, for example, it's an issue.
There are certain words that I think should never ever be used. And that word, I don't care which comedian is using it. Now, don't get me wrong. When Chris Rock uses the word and when Michael Richards uses the word,
there's a difference.
There is a difference. And I am not denying that. The only point I'm trying to make is under any circumstance, I don't think the word should be used ever. It is one of the worst words out there. Now, I'm not saying a gay slur is appropriate and that you should use the word. But what I am saying is I think there is a distinction between this gay slur that was used and using the N-word. I think there is a line there. And I do not believe, the reason why I'm bringing this up, I do not believe that Gillis broke that line. And now the people at by the way, SNL sucks. Can I just say that? I will agree with Donald Trump on something. Back in the day when it was Adam Sandler and all these great actors, that were so funny back in the day. I'm talking, 20 years ago?
Eddie Murphy was there. I mean, unbelievable.
SNL was unbelievable. Chris Farley. I mean, I can name so many greats.
Belushi.
Yes. That show was unbelievably funny. It sucks now. It sucks. I'm sorry. It's not funny.
But, we're living in a time where the skin has become so thin about so many little things.
Well, it starts with the president.
Well, and we agree on that. I mean, the president cannot take any criticism, but bottom line is, in this day and age, you make one statement out of line, you're done.
Your career's over. I mean, this guy's in serious trouble. So because you offended me, I have the right to prevent you from making millions of dollars at what you do best?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's real life now? Because you offended little old me. I feel so bad about myself, and I'm so insecure that now you can't have a future in your career.
Well, why are you saying little? You're making fun of small people now?
No, I'm just saying.
You lose your job for saying that.
It's the problem.
It is. It's an issue. If you offend me, I'm so important, and I'm so insecure about myself that you can't have a career.
2 weeks ago, we talked about
to me that's unbelievable.
The newscaster with the gorilla making a mistake. And
we talked about that.
It's unbelievable.
We had a conversation about that.
We did talk about that. Okay, well, first of all, Pat, thank you so much for coming in. Always appreciate
I love being here. Thank you.
Always appreciate it when you come in every Tuesday with your perspectives. Always appreciate that. Hey, we got a fun show lined up for you tomorrow. Michael Avenatti will be joining us. Talk a little bit about Brett Kavanaugh, the latest dealings there, and Aces WNBA head basketball coach Bill Laimbeer will be joining us on the air tomorrow. Folks, have a fantastic day. Sean Hannity is coming up next. Thanks for joining us on the Vegas Take. Have a great afternoon, everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow.